I hope we're doing the podcast when our kids are 18. Maybe not. You don't
Can
hope?
you imagine? No, I do hope. But Kev told me that I said something about how we'd still be doing the podcast when we were grandparents, and Kev was like, "You will have been replaced by an AI bot at that point."
I
So
know.
we're just gonna enjoy it while we have it.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Happy summer. Welcome to We'll
Ugh,
Sleep When We're Dead.
happy summer.
I'm
Last night was a new one. Deep in sleep, and I just feel like a poking in my back. Poke, 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 poke.
huh?
Like get, abruptly
Jolted.
woken up. And Henry's like, I really crunched my adult tooth. What does it mean? What does that mean at 3 a.m. to crunch your adult tooth?
Wow.
So of course I opened his mouth to make sure it was still in there, because at 3, when you're so disoriented, you're like, is it lost? Is it in there?
No.
But then I've been essentially up since then.
Going through his brain at 3 a.m. He's laying in his bed. I mean, the persistence of that boy, because there's a lot of stairs in your house. It's got to go pretty
There's
far.
a lot of stairs. He's not close by.
No, he's got like a minute and a half journey to get to you. I mean, that's determination. Like, this is so important. And then is he just fine? Does he just go back up?
Well, it got a little disorienting because immediately, what do I say? Like, if anyone is waking me up, just go to the bathroom, because that's what I just figure that they need to do, no matter what. If they're crying about a bad dream, if they say they need a snack, I just say go to the bathroom, because I just assume their bladder has woken them up. So he goes into my bathroom.
That's pure projection, because nobody wakes up more to pee than Lucy. So I've never had to wake up in the middle of the night to pee. Lucy gets up 14 times every night to pee.
To the extent, Sam, the other night I got up like 4 times, and we are doing a hydration challenge at work. Challenge at work, and I won it last year. So I'm obviously
gonna win it again. Okay.
Fully committed to winning it again. However, I'm going against people that really want to win it this year, and I don't know if I'm as committed. So anyways, it's neither here nor there. I'm in the top, but I don't know that I'm gonna get it. But like, I went to the bathroom 4 times, and I was like, did all the water just save up for the day in my body and then decide once I went to bed? I don't drink a lot at night. Like, once dinner hits, I'm kind of like maxed out on beverages.
I know there needs to be a lot of studies on your sleep, your bladder, all the things.
So for any new people here, this is how we start most podcasts talking about
I'm actually really glad you brought it back to sleep, because it's been a while.
Well, that's, yeah. So anyways, it was very disorienting because I thought I sent him to the guest bathroom. So I walk out because I'm like, it's 3 now. This is when I move to the couch, because there's no way I'm going to go back to sleep in my own bed.
And that's another
like
one
a fish,
of your
as Sam
grand
knows.
ideas. Yep. You tend to change rooms when you can't sleep. I'm like, oh,
Always.
did you have a good morning? And you're like, no, I slept on the couch. I slept in the guest room. I slept on my bed. All in one night, Luce? Yep.
Like, literally, there was a night a couple weeks ago, 4. I was like, it was my bed, the couch, Piper's bed, and then the downstairs couch, because I was like, maybe it's cooler down there. Anyways, it gets out of control. So anyways, but he actually had gone to the bathroom in my bathroom, and so then I hear him in my room going, Mommy, because he can't find me, because I'm no longer in my room, obviously. And so he comes and finds me on the couch, and he's like, my tooth is really hurting. And at this point, I'm like, there's nothing I can do about it tonight. We're going to have to investigate it in the morning and send him back to bed.
And he did? He goes back to bed. Okay, unlike you?
Back to bed.
Okay, yeah. That's good.
So anyways, but just, a comedy of errors. So.
Well, it's funny you brought that up, because it's been a while since I've talked about sleep. We have been in a real 5 a.m. rut again. And it is like PTSD. I mean,
why are they doing that?
I don't know. And it's sometimes Finley, and Finley's my best sleeper. I mean, we're talking like 5:15, 5:40, 5:30.
The 5s are they're not acceptable.
They're not acceptable.
They've never been acceptable.
No.
And
we lived here with Isla. You and I, with Henry and Isla, lived in the 5s. For years.
Years. I mean, years.
Years. You in the
It's what
fours,
started this
everyone saw.
podcast.
And we talked about it all the time. And then obviously, Piper and Ruby had a little bit of issues, but like it's been really lovely. Like I could
Yeah.
for a year and a half, I'm like 6 to 6:30 is an okay wake up. We still have a lot of time before school, but for my body, the way I work, 6 to 6:30, I'm actually not angry at you when you wake
Right.
up.
Yes.
I got up to go to Barry's this morning and my alarm didn't go off. My child woke me up at 5:20.
No.
And I was like, no, what are we doing?
No.
What are we doing?
No. I
So
had a
anyway,
friend text the other day that said we had been out late at a party and they were like, yeah, it's 8:30. The boys are just coming down. And I'm
no,
like, I don't.
no,
Just reminds me our kids are broken. I don't think my kids will ever sleep till 8:30, even when they're in those high school years and they say they never get up. I just can't even
I
imagine it.
can't. No, I cannot. I don't know if I told this. It was just a couple. Yeah, it was last week. So I haven't because I haven't talked to you in a while. Our girls were up so early the other day. Kyle was traveling. I'm ready. They're ready. They were so
Yeah.
excited. It was 7:15. We don't leave for school till 8. I was like, all right, let's go walk and get donuts. Like, that's how bored I can be in the morning. That's how long we have in the morning
No.
before school even starts. That we're all dressed staring at each other at 7:15. And I'm like, all right, guys, let's just go get donuts. Like, I can't entertain you. And you're just going to, yeah. And now
No.
that the weather's nice, it's kind of fun. Like, now I'm leaving early anyway. But yeah, the
Well,
morning,
yeah, we love a morning scooter ride in the
right.
summers. I
Yes.
mean,
Like, we're
7:30, like let's get out the door, let's get the blood pumping. It's
right.
great. But
Winter.
otherwise it's canceled. So,
I, yeah. I hope we're doing the podcast when our kids are 18. Maybe not. You don't
can
hope?
you imagine? No, I do hope. I do hope. But Kev told me that I said something about how we'd still be doing the podcast when we were grandparents, and Kev was like, "You will have been replaced by an AI bot at that point."
I
So
know.
we're
I
just gonna
know.
enjoy it while we have it.
Yeah. But if I
But
can ever speak on here that my kids slept in late, maybe that's when we end it. Maybe we'll
yeah,
sleep when we're
that's it.
dead. That's
Yes,
when
like
we
the
come.
podcast is just no longer relevant, and so we
Right.
have to cancel it.
Because our kids are sleeping till 8 every day. Could you imagine?
I love that.
Okay. All right, cool.
Okay, that sounds great.
Goodness.
Well, we love when things that we've talked about on the podcast become reality. And today I'm living what I said I was going to do this summer.
I know. And then I love a topic that is relatable in the sense of working versus staying home. Grass is always greener. And I think it all just ties in.
It all ties together
And I'm
so
really
nicely.
excited to talk about it because I think you've kind of unlocked like a major hack.
Well, I maybe have. So, guys, it's a Monday, and I've taken the full day off, which is wild. And I've taken the full day off, but still have childcare, which is the real difference. So I said on here a couple of weeks ago that I was going to do a better job of taking random days off during the summer. And there's just a lot of things that need to get done that just don't get done on the weekends, is what I'm finding. So there's just not time. There's, there's kids' birthday parties, there's baseball, you want to just hang out with your family, whatever the case may be, that long list just doesn't get done. So I took the whole day off. I ran this morning. I went and got my hair done, which here's the thing in of itself. I talked with my girl that does my hair. She's like, I don't really have Saturdays open because a lot of times she's like, I want to do what I want to do on Saturday. And she's like, I dictate my own schedule, so I don't really have to do a Saturday.
Right.
So she's like, what then ends up happening is what's open for people that can only do Saturdays is the evenings. Or for people with more flexibility, she goes, like you. And I was like, this is forced flexibility today by taking a PTO day. They book during the week. And so it was really funny because typically I will either do a weekend or an evening, but that's just not convenient either because we were like, okay, now I'm going to use free time to like sit there for 3 hours to get my hair done.
Right.
So anyways, did that. But then I'm also sprinkling in, obviously we're doing the pod, which is amazing that we're getting to chat today. But I'm trying to get those other things checked off the list.
Yes.
One of which is putting things on Facebook Marketplace that need to get out of this house.
Oh my gosh, I hate this
And
task.
I don't know why I hate it so much. It's not that hard. But the difference between offering something for free on Facebook
Oh
Marketplace and
my
the
God.
number of people that contact you versus offering something for $5.
No. And then want
I
4. They wanna ask you if you could have it for 3 or $4. You're
I
then
will never forget when you were leaving Pittsburgh. It was specifically Pittsburgh. You were trying to get rid of everything, I swear. And I just remember being on the phone with you and you were like, I gotta get off the phone because someone from Facebook Marketplace is coming to pick this thing up. But then the other times you were like, I can't get rid of this stuff. You're like, unless I like literally list it for free.
free, free. Everyone
So
comes
I
for free.
listed one set of things for free on here. I came home from my haircut. I listed at my haircut. I came home from my haircut and I was like, man, Kev, I'm like really surprised no one's reached out. And he was like, wow, really? And then I went in and realized I wasn't actually logged in. So I log in and it's immediately like
Right. A
27
million.
people
Yeah.
are wanting the free thing. And I have one message from the non-free thing.
It's unbelievable.
But then, I'm sitting here. Okay, I do have some more messages. Okay. They're coming to pick them up. So at least the free things are getting out the door.
Oh
But
my God, good for you.
it's just nice. It's nice to be purging things
Yeah.
that no longer serve us.
I love
So,
getting
but
rid of
anyways,
things.
all this to say, it took me having an open day
Mhm.
to get this stuff done.
I know.
And I think we reached out to someone that has like a similar like methodology that she schedules, I think quarterly, like a day to just like do those
Mhm.
random tasks. Like I still have other things on the list. Like after we get off the phone, I want to find an allergist for Piper. Like there's like
Oh
talk about the mental load, the mental and logistical load.
my
I
God.
spent 30 of the first 30 minutes of my hair appointment just messing with our calendar, our family calendar, because in the last week, it's like, okay, I signed this person up for camp.
Yeah.
I committed us to do this dinner with this person. We need a babysitter for this date. So I need to text it. I mean, 3 trillion things that
Mm.
just cannot
Mhm.
get done in a normal world. And
Right.
so it's funny because we thought about, okay, what are some ongoing topics that we could think about where these two come not into conflict, but just like the differences in
Mhm.
how both of us might manage these types of tasks,
Right.
given one of us is a working mom and one is a stay-at-home mom. And
Mhm.
I think on days like today, I can definitely take a grass is always greener approach to your life, being like,
100%.
wow, it would be so nice to just not have to worry about, do I need to request time off and find a sitter and whatever to go get my hair done?
I
Or
know.
to, in the middle of the day, feel like it's okay to post something on Facebook Marketplace. So, I look at your life and think like that would be way more tangible and easy in Sam's scenario because you're not working. And I'm
Mhm.
sure that you have every rebuttal to that about
Yeah.
how that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, because I was thinking about this idea of flexibility because we talk about it so much on the pod. We ask a lot of the guest, the working successful women that come on about, like, how they manage. And I think one would argue or one would assume that stay-at-home moms have so much more flexibility.
Yeah.
And
And free time. Like
yes.
flexibility and like true genuine free time.
Yeah, and I find, like, I don't know. I don't know if this would almost be, like, not I don't know if we could figure out which side is greener because I have so many rebuttals of that, like, I've said this a lot. 0 to 5 years is a very different stage of being a stay-at-home mom than when your kids are older. The first 2 years of being a stay-at-home mom, I'm only going to get my hair done if I find childcare, if I have a mom that's in town, or I'm going on a weekend and my husband, which is great time for the baby, but I don't like to do that stuff on the weekends because I have a husband that's gone a lot. So Saturdays and Sundays are very sacred. And so all of this idea, this is kind of goes back to stuff I've said a lot of like, oh, while they're at school, I think people forget like kids don't go to school until kindergarten. I know a lot of people that don't send their kids to these fun little pre-Ks. If they're stay-at-home moms, some people choose to just be at home with their kids the first 3 years. And so those are the moments when I'm like, I don't have any flexibility.
Right.
Like, I can
Right.
only do things if I ask somebody to watch my own children. Like, I don't
Yeah.
like, yes, I have so much flexibility when I was an early stay-at-home mom in the sense of when I can grocery shop, when I can do laundry, but I'm doing them with a kid the whole time. But yeah, like if I don't want to, like I used to joke, like I love going to the grocery store on a Monday morning with my 1.5-year-old because nobody's there. Like, yeah, I'll take that as like a win. I don't have to do it on a Saturday. I totally get that. But when it comes to like what you did with like alone time, flexibility time, it's like years before you feel as a stay-at-home mom that you have that. Like years. Like I'm just entering that period where I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a lot of time to myself today. Like today, for an example, a classic Monday is my longest days. I worked out at 6 a.m. because Kyle's here. That's like a huge unlock for my
Right.
time. I
Right.
gain so much time in my day
Yeah.
when I work out before the kids because normally, whatever, I gotta go to the grocery store. I also had to do some like errands. I had to go to the pediatrician for paperwork. I had to go to the school to get paperwork. I had a phone call with a friend. I did all of that before like 11 a.m. So, like, yeah, I had a lot of flexibility today, but that's because my kids are in school. And for the first 2 years of my kids' life, like, we didn't always have that option. So then I would always envy working moms. I mean, what you did today is like clear. You took a PTO,
Yeah.
but like
Which I
every,
have never done. So,
right, which is like
like
really
this, used it in
new.
this way.
Right,
Mhm.
like, you not only you took a PTO, but you took it to, like, do housekeeping things, like, you really did it to, like but I always would envy people when I heard, like, "Oh, yeah, I just, like, bounced out for a coffee at 3 PM from the office," and I'm like, "Ah," like, yes, stay-at-home moms can do that, but we're not doing it alone, we're doing it with our
Right.
children in tow. Like, I just don't think it's apples to apples, and so I feel like I'm now just entering where I'm like, "Okay, I can see why you all look at my schedule and think, wow, she's got like a lot of time on her hands."
Well, okay, but I would say these two eh, rebuttals are just a really funny thing in this context because I'm gonna fight for your side too because I'm
We're not
just
fighting.
we're not we're in a huge fight, guys.
We're
This is
really-
this is our first pod fight. No, I think it's interesting for two reasons. One, you mentioned on the podcast a couple weeks ago that for the first 2 years, all you were doing was trying to get kids to go to sleep. And I find that so funny because it's so true because both of us were like pretty Johnny on the spot with schedules, like you
Mm,
especially, like we're really, really good about it. Um, and I think with that, that provided almost no flexibility because you were home and you were you were like those kids were asleep. So you had zero wiggle room in that schedule, which is exactly what I think you're speaking to in terms of like once kids go to school, you get more freedom for sure. But I would say I think there's also like a lot more your day is like very tied up in coordination and
mhm,
like logistics.
mhm.
Whereas I don't, from what I have experienced with my other stay-at-home mom friends in the suburbs, you're getting a kid on a bus or you're getting them to something like via car. And then there's just like
Yeah,
the ease of life is totally different than what you experience on a day-to-day basis. I mean, like you
right.
are walking like a mile and a half twice a day just to do pickups and drop-offs, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and a mom just looked at me today and she was like, I can't believe how much you walk to school. I'm like, I know. Yeah, which is different in Charlotte. I drove all the time, but like it's still that it's a different type of flexibility because it feels like you're still constricted by this like I don't know how to put it because I know you can't control your boss and your work life,
Yeah.
but like it's all still in the constraint of something that's like totally out of my control in the sense of like I don't make the I don't determine when school pickup is on or off. I don't determine when like after school doesn't start. Like for example, this is Ruby's last week of school. They just decided, "Hey, we don't do early drop-offs." Normally, we drop off Ruby 30 minutes early when the doors open. You can drop her off at
They just
8.
decided that. They
The
said,
last week of
we're
school,
just
they're
not
like,
going to
"We're
do
not
that.
yeah, we're not gonna do early drop-off today." So, like, there's also that where, like, I
Right.
feel like that like, obviously, a kid's sick or if school, there's a
Yeah.
holiday. There's also this level of, like, feeling like there's nothing in your control either of, like, the flexibility. So, like, yes, it's flexible, but you almost feel like, "My gosh." it's Monday. This is my only day, truly me speaking now myself, that I actually have 8 to 2:30. Every other day, Ruby's done early at noon or another kid's done, like, so then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I have to cram everything in, almost like what you're doing. Like you're literally doing, like I have to cram everything in on this one Monday because the rest of the week, you just never know what's going to happen.
Right.
Which makes it feel like not flexible, where like when you're working, especially these days with fluidness of jobs, it's a fault because you work at 9 o'clock at night, you work at 7 a.m., you're
Right.
sending emails at 5 a.m.
Right.
But then there's these people that I think tend to like flaunt their flexible work hours.
Yeah.
Like to somebody like me that I'm like, gosh, that's so cool that they can like go do that on a Tuesday afternoon and technically they're working,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
like,
but I think there is a totally, like, I was speaking with someone that was a doctor the other day,
yeah,
and talk about like a rigid schedule. Like, it really made me feel kind of similar to you as we're talking about flexibility, where I'm like, I have so much flexibility in comparison to someone that has a schedule where they
right.
are like, I have a false sense of flexibility because I now work from home. But I'm like, I didn't have that when I was like in an office. Doctors
No.
don't have that when they're surgeons or whatever, and they need to like clock in at a certain time, clock out at a certain time. And so I think there's just like, there's a really wide spectrum, is essentially like what I've figured out.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's interesting to think about like which spectrum like you want to be on,
Hmm.
essentially, because I'm curious, like thinking about this, like thinking about that fact, does that make you think like, oh, I would love to have a working schedule, or do you still look at your schedule and think like, no, this works for me?
It's like kind of scary that I've been out of working for 7 years to like even understand what that would look like. And I know that people, they'll correct us and be like, you have a job. You're a stay-at-home mom. And when
Do
people,
you love or hate when people say that,
I hate it. It
or
sounds like
does
a
it feel
pity.
like really passive aggressive?
It,
And
it sounds passive aggressive.
yeah,
Like you don't have to remind me that like I am a mom. Thank you.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
have to remind me of my worth. Let's put it that
Mhm.
way.
Mhm.
But in a weird psychotic way, I have a job. Like I don't like when people are like, "Oh, you," but like, especially my situation is so extreme with Kyle gone so often. Like, I can't just take a day off in the sense of being like, I am
Right.
like, if I take one day off of laundry with 3 kids, I'm like, gosh darn it, why did I take that day off? Or if I don't do the dishwasher at night, I'm like regretting it. Or if I don't, so like, but then there's this part of me, I don't want to only say that your job is money, but there's this part of me that's like, but gosh, if I could have like a really great relationship with my kids, a pretty decent salary, and like a purpose of feeling like a
Yeah.
BA, it intrigues me like 7 years ago to be in a different light, and that's where, yeah, like I love the idea of that lifestyle. But I don't know it enough to, like, really be like, I don't wanna go back to what Lucy had to go back when you had no childcare and you were working all the time. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
that. That life doesn't
Right.
sound great. But, like, if you use your magic 8 ball and you're like, it all ended up working out, whether you worked or
Yeah.
didn't work, there are those moments that it's like, I'm a hard worker. Would I have wanted to put in the hard work during the hard times and had maybe a little bit to show for it? Maybe. And I don't wanna feel
Right.
guilty for saying that. But that's also why I'm enjoying this podcast. I'm also feeling like my life is only halfway over. Like I have half more to go. Like there's so much more opportunity. This is not it for me. But yeah, there are moments when I'm like, I thrive on a schedule. My personality, I can't speak for all stay-at-home moms. I thrive on like a lot of when I have more on my to-do list, the more I'm more active. When I don't have a lot
Mhm.
going on, I can tend to be really lazy at home. So like I thrive in that. And so there are a couple times a year where I'm like, I kind of wish I would have done it
Yeah.
differently. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't, you're not other, I don't feel like yours is, you don't feel that way about a stay-at-home mom.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so. I mean, I feel like that's been pretty well documented that
But
I
like
don't.
you're cool, like with the level of flexibility that you're offered in your
Yeah.
working world is sustainable for you, for your needs. Like you're not,
For
you're,
now, yeah. I
yeah.
mean, like in this season, yes. Like I can, if I want to, pop out and grab the kids or do a drop off or whatever. But I think where been talking to a lot of people about this lately around this idea of when they get older and they're like inherently more needy because they need to go more places. I don't think it would be
Yeah.
the
Right.
right level of flexibility
I know.
because at some point it's too much. You're like asking too much of your job to give you all the flexibility, if you know what I mean. So like, and for where I want to be, I don't think that would be acceptable. So that's the tension that I feel like it's nice that I don't feel it now in this season. Like I felt it previously when the kids were babies and
Mm.
I was working at a startup. That tension and I had nannies cycling in and out of here every day.
Right, which is what I was
Pretty much. Right,
referencing to. Like,
exactly.
I
Like
don't want that.
that did not work. Like
Nope.
that structure did not work. I was burnt out on both ends. Like that did not work. This season, it's like, especially, I just think my like come around on summer is so funny to me
I know.
because it has been so much easier this summer. Like
So
we're not
great.
getting people out the door in the morning. We're not worrying about a pickup, whatever the case may be. Like it's actually working really well and the kids are having a blast. So in this season, it's working. I am just so aware that there are seasons and chapters.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like waiting for the next, like running up against like either like the job doesn't fit the flexibility that I need. The
Right.
kids like
Right.
requirements and needs don't fit the flexibility that I have.
Right.
Like Kevin's job, whatever,
Right.
who knows? Like it's so
Right.
hard to know, like project out a year from now.
Right.
So I'm just trying to get to the place where I really enjoy it. I do think though, like I can often take, especially on a day like today, take the grass is greener approach where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it would be nice to be able to be like
Yeah.
Sam and say like, oh, okay, I can do the podcast anytime from
Yeah.
9 to 2.
Yeah.
Like things
Yeah.
like that. Like they
Yeah.
seem very little, but like today when
Yeah.
I'm able to get a ton of stuff done that's like in that intangible mental logistical load
Right.
list, it just feels kind of nice. So
Yeah. I also like this whole idea of flexibility. It kind of goes back to like the maternity leave thought of me being like, everybody should take a maternity leave. And then you were like or everybody should stay at home, but you made a very clear correction. You were like, yeah, but not with the job waiting for them at the end. Do you remember that comment you made to
yeah,
me? And I feel like this is where the grass is greener all the time is such a good phrase because what you experiencing today is so great, but you have full-time childcare. You have your job tomorrow. You have a paycheck every month, which I'm not saying, I'm not
totally.
trying to lessen what you're saying at any means, but like that is so like, like that's kind of where I was kind of being like, gosh, well, if I can say that like my girls are great and I had the best, if somebody could say you're going to be given the best nanny, your girls and you're going to have a great relationship, but you can also have a great career and work, like
Right.
I might have chosen that.
Yeah.
But that's so stupid to talk about because that's like not necessary. But the other little quick thing I want to talk about with flexibility, because I think a lot of people on our podcast, like working people talk about it, is this idea of like almost like you want to work, but you want 20% with your kids. And there's like this moment of like I have people here that I think have been like, so I'm like, gosh, that is the dream schedule. Okay. They have these really great careers and they somehow have been able to negotiate that they only work Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And they get
That
Wednesday.
is the dream.
Right.
You're
And
so right.
right. And I'm like, they have like inspiring careers. Now
Yeah.
they're our age. They've worked so hard to get there. You're
Right.
not asking for that when you're 23. You're
No.
not getting that when you're 23. Like,
No.
I'm sure they're only getting that because they've proven to their bosses that
Right.
like, this is what they have power to say that. But they get the stuff that you're doing today, they get done on Wednesdays and Fridays. And then they also try to do stuff one-on-one with their kids on Wednesdays and
Yeah.
Fridays. They still have their full-time daycare and nanny or school. They're not getting 100% of a paycheck, but they're still getting a paycheck. They're clearly, and I'm like,
They did something right.
that
How did
is
they
like,
both do that? Did they like coach each other to that?
I think it's just I don't know. And so I've also thought of that with like stay-at-home moms. Like, there's clearly an itch for us because think about all those stay-at-home moms that do like side hustles.
That's what I'm saying. Like there is a definite in between now.
Right.
There
And
is a totally an in between of women that have, because I think those side hustles are more accessible than they ever have been.
right.
And women are doing it in droves. It's awesome.
But then what the part that I kind of wrap my head around is like, it's really hard to do something like not great. And
Yeah.
so like these moms that
Yeah.
are trying to do these side hustles, I think we're doing it with like babies breastfeeding, toddlers whining, and we're like staying up late to try to do an email. And like, so
True.
like what we can accomplish in a year, if we were just full-time workers, we'd probably accomplish in 3 months. And then going off of what
Yeah.
like, are you really going to like climb the CEO ladder if you've decided at 40 that you're going to only work 3 days a week?
Life is a series of trade-offs is essentially what
Right.
it feels like.
But
Yeah.
like that level of flexibility, gosh, that'd be so great. But then that might not
But it
equate to
may
what,
not allow you to get to
yes,
XYZ things. Yeah.
yes, right. And then like me wanting a side hustle is great because you would think, oh, you're a stay-at-home mom, you have so much time. And then like when I carve out my week, I'm like, it's not
No.
nearly as much time as you guys think I
No.
have. Not
No.
nearly as much time. Like it's really,
No, I know that to be a fact when
y-
yeah. It's where I think like the thing I mentioned around like a doctor or something versus my schedule is the other caveat that I would give for you is like I have the flexibility of I have a husband that can be as flexible as as
right.
I am. If, you know, if I'm traveling, he can do XYZ things. You are essentially the sole parent most of the time
Yeah,
during
I'm
the
more of an
week.
extreme circumstance for sure.
And that is like, I feel like there are probably a lot of women in that
Hmm.
situation that don't have the flexibility of having a husband that can do that. So
Right. Yeah, I was
life's,
listening to another
it's,
stay-at-home mom who was like, yeah, eventually we were kind of talking about like our aspirations. And she's like, eventually I think I just want to like volunteer. And I was like, I just get so stuck in my position because I'm like, I am default parent. I have the time, but I would need to find the right organization to be like, I can only volunteer 180 days of the year because those are the days my kids go to school. And I could,
uh-huh.
like, it's
Yeah,
not just like I'm available because on the days where the kids are not in school because of all the holidays, we don't have a full time nanny. So that's me.
right,
Or when the kids are
right.
sick, that's me. You're right. Like, I have more of an extreme situation. So even that, people are like, oh, you have all the time in the world. You should volunteer. And like, yeah, but what company is going to let me volunteer like the one afternoon every 3 weeks that I on my own
Yeah,
account? Like,
that's such a good point.
that's not going to be super sustainable for that person to want me or that company to even want. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a trap. I think it's a trap.
It's a trap. There are trade-offs. And I
Major.
feel like if you're listening and you're on either side of this fence, I think the reality is like there's tension in all of it. So
Totally. Totally.
I feel like I'm like starting to get more aware and more comfortable with the fact that there's like tension in choices. There's tension in different experiences. And as always, chapters and seasons. Like if I remind myself of anything daily, it's that.
But like, I think to end it, like you have grown so much. Like the fact that you're doing what you're doing today
It's
is like massive,
bonkers.
bonkers. Okay. I would probably imagine you don't max out your PTO every year. And the fact that you are like, you were so aware of like summers are hard, or
Mhm.
also I have a lot to do. I'm going to be better at it if I just take the day. And this is why my whole like, I'm like, the first thing I tell a stay at home mom is like, get help,
Yeah.
get a babysitter. Like on the flip side, right? Like,
Yeah.
you needed to take a PTO this month to like get yourself organized, just like I'm constantly telling stay-at-home moms in the opposite, like get somebody to come help you once a month or whatever. So it's totally a season, but I think it's so great too that you did that, like, because it's been a while.
I know. So, oh my goodness. Well, do you have anything fun you've been loving?
No, I was trying to think about that. I like wish I had a product. I haven't been buying anything lately.
I know.
I'm like really not. I'm annoyed with giving any store my credit card.
I feel like that's very fair.
Honestly, this is niche, but this this is what I'm
I'm
into.
already intrigued. What's it gonna be?
This is what I'm into, which I don't know. This is maybe gonna give me some hate. Like summer is the best, but I feel like summer comes with like kids wanting a lot of tchotchkes, and I don't like tchotchkes. Like
Kind of
we
tchotchkes are we talking
like
about?
we want a little bucket to play in the splash pad. We want water balloons. We want water shooter
Yep.
thingies with the
Yep.
styrofoam. We want all these things and I'm just like junk, junk, junk,
Yep.
junk. But living
And they
in
get lost at such an alarming rate.
such an alarm. Okay, so this is my point. I know you guys have the dollar store, but New York City has so many of these like little like all kind of like dollar stores. Like you can go
Yeah.
get like balloons blown up for your birthday, or you can get like a pencil for 45 cents, or you can get all of this stuff. And
Amazing.
so I've just been like loving going in there once a week. I think I'm gonna spend $100 and I'm spending like $20. And I think I'm already on like the fourth water bucket for the splash pad already. I'm just like loving spending money at the dollar store. That's what I'm going to call it. Because the fact that you said that and you didn't even know where I was going, the stuff that gets lost at an alarming rate. Kids'
I don't want to talk
sunglasses,
about how many goggles we've lost at the pool
think
thus far.
goggles, sunglasses, watering cans. Kids love like fake watering cans.
I
And let me
won't
tell
even buy the kids sunglasses because they just get the free ones at the dentist. So we're just always repping our dentist brand.
but like
Oh,
my little dollar store down the street has them. So I don't feel as bad. I'm just like once a week I kind of go in and see like what have we lost this today or what
yep.
have we
Mm-hmm.
broken because it's all
Mm-hmm.
plastic because it was $1.
Yeah.
And so I'm like very into that than buying anything else.
I think it's great. I think it's a good hack is what it is. Well, we already know what I'm doing for myself, so
I was about to say,
I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. But and
yeah,
in that vein, I think we're gonna go play pickleball now because it's only 2 o'clock and just the day is waiting.
I love this day for you. All
I know it's wild. Well,
right.
love you. See
Love
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.